Hello YouTubers. Joe Kersey here, and it's in for a penny, in for a pound. And I sure hope you can read this. I'm shooting this an f-stop underexposed, and hope you can read this. Now the tone of what I'm about to say is going to sound like I'm very angry and hostile and offended and self-righteous and basically just being an asshole. That's what it's going to sound like. But I don't mean that. And by the way, it's June 22nd, 2017 at 15:15 in the afternoon Eastern Time. This is an email I sent to my friend Tony Pincham, and it has nothing to do with Tony. It has nothing to do with Tony Pincham. It has to do with a link to a news story he sent me, and I had seen other versions of this news story in other sources, in both the Telegraph and Wall Street Journal and the Daily Mail. And I can't recall which source he sent this thing to me from. But it was about this couple, and I imagine a number of people have heard about it. They were going on their honeymoon to Italy to catch a cruise, and they were at Newark Airport in the United States. And they were on a United flight, and plane's taxiing out to take off, and they glance out, then they see this bunch of fuel coming out of the wing, the left wing. And they notify the flight crew, and they turn around and go back, because they're leaking fuel all over the place. And the pilots thanked them and said basically, they may most probably saved the aircraft, or at the least they saved them having to get up there and circle around for 2.5 to 3 hours dumping fuel before they could land again. And that's fine, To get off the plane, I guess some other passengers were accommodated with overnight accommodation or some sort of stuff. Oh, stop flying around my face. But apparently, for whatever reason, they weren't. And so they ended up sleeping on the floor in Newark Airport. Well, that's not an ideal situation, but it's hardly the end of the world. Because on the next day, I guess the next day, they got on a plane, flew over to Italy, and made their cruise. So they got there. All they had to do was, have a very, very, very uncomfortable night. And stay alive. Oh, and by the way, and stay alive. The way this thing's being reported, you would have thought the world had come down around these people. That they had been, dragged up the aisle and had their teeth broken. And the usual shit you hear about United Airlines anymore in the press. No, it was just, they turned the plane around, they got off safely. They got to sleep on the floor, well, at one point they got to stay alive, even though they had to sleep on the floor, and then they made it to their trip. So rather than turning this into kind of a shared, oh gee, our first day of marriage experience, all we're hearing about is, fucking airlines, and they screwed us, and they didn't do right by us, and this, that, and the other. Frankly, I got tired of that relatively soon. Now I wish this fly, or whatever it is, go away. So that's the background for this, which I'll read to you in a minute if you haven't already been able to read over my shoulder. To put this in perspective, today I got a phone call from my nephew Ed in Tennessee. Now, one of his former soldiers, who lives up near where he met his wife in eastern Ohio, has PTSD, or it's very obvious he does have PTSD. Well, no, it hasn't. No, it's obvious he has PTSD. And he's been having these complete breaks, and he's living at home. And I guess the most recent one, he imagined himself having a firefight outside his house. And they're on a hill, his house is on a hill, and he's saying, gotta, secure the perimeter and shoot, get downhill. And it was like he was back in battle. And as I've said repeatedly, for those who have long appeared to be home, yet are still fighting on distant battlefields. And this man was clearly fighting on a distant battlefield still. So, contrast that experience today, meanwhile Ed's trying to find some way to, some appropriate place to refer this guy and have him looked after and treated properly, and there's some other medicine issues that are going on, and not any illegal drugs or anything, just medicine issues. And put that in contrast with, these people going on their honeymoon. Well, they got to go on their fucking honeymoon. They just, got there a day late and still got to go on their little boat ride. Give me a break. I haven't said that for a while. It feels good. Give me a break. So Tony and I have been going back and forth about this. Not a sort of personal thing, but just our different perspectives on this matter. As I said, to him, as I said, I'm a bit of a hard case as far as this travel stuff goes. I've slept on floors in railroad stations before. It ain't fun, but it happens. I do not expect it to go well, nor do I expect them, meaning the airlines or the companies involved, to do what is right. They should be grateful, the couple, should be grateful they got off the potential flying bomb and make a bit of a shared first day of the marriage experience about it. It doesn't matter what they say, the airline is never going to make it right. They're just not going to. That's just the way the world works, guys. And then I sort of go off. And while I'm at it, I got to be where I am today, i.e. sitting on my ass here making YouTube videos in retirement, at a very early age, by the way, by doing and tolerating and suffering lots of stuff that was not fair or just. And that's true. But I did not let it grind me down. I felt like it was doing it, but it didn't. Was I happy about it? Hell no. But there was no point making an issue of it. Did it take its toll? Absolutely. Physically, emotionally, the whole bit. Personally, in terms of interpersonal relationships and so forth. Was I happy about it? Hell no. But there was no point making an issue of it. It takes toll, absolutely. I paid a price emotionally and physically. But that's what I had signed on for, although I didn't know it at the time. But as it turned out, that's what I had signed on for. So I have no patience for some things. Not that many. I'm generally a fairly patient guy. Sometimes overly so. But not that many, but some I have no patience for. My first question after someone spins me a sob story like this is, so what do you do? What did you do? Well, it sounds like they did everything they could, this couple. They pissed and moaned and said, why are you screwing us? Okay, and Airline shrugged their shoulders. And then, so what happened then? Okay, well then they got to Italy. End of story. Happy ending. Tony sent me some pictures of puzzles he had done. Framed puzzle looked great. And then I talk about what I did today. I did toilet and bathroom cleaning today. And then, as I referenced just momentarily ago, and then on the phone to my nephew Ed in Tennessee, who has a former military friend in Ohio, who's been having recurrent psychotic breaks from PTSD after his Iraq experience, coupled with Ambien. Might be from Afghanistan, but I think he said Iraq. With Ambien as a sleep aid, and maybe, probably, but you never know, exacerbated by the same. he was trying to find some nearby place in Ohio that could treat these acute episodes. Well, I not much help there on that. Most recently was a few hours ago when he thought he was in a firefight outside his house. So I covered that in my narrative. So that's where we stand today, June 22nd, 2017. Maybe I'll enjoy the candles, put in some fresh ones. I'm going to have to order some more. I'm getting down to my last 3. I'll say bye-bye, YouTubers.